Morning, this is Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and the Off-Grid Project. Left the blue flame heater on all night last night just to see how it would work. And it worked alright, but the downstairs is 54 degrees and it's 11 out right now at 9 o'clock in the morning. Now it was 5 degrees at 7:30 this morning and 54 in, so it hasn't changed. The downstairs temperature has stayed stable, so the heater is doing its job. I just didn't have it adjusted to a higher temperature. So 54 at 5 out at night isn't bad at all. I can deal with that. That will keep the tiny house from freezing when I'm gone away. So, oh, where am I? Sorry about that. I bumped my zoom button while I was walking. So that'll keep the house from freezing. And it's nice looking right there. It looks really good, I think, in that corner, right by the corner of the stairwell. Now the heat from that rises, so there's no real radiant heat forwards or to the sides or anywhere to the back. It rises, so it works. I'll probably put some kind of a metal shelf or shroud here at one point angled up a little so I can put shelves and decorations on that wall as I had originally intended. Now I just fired up the wood stove. I've got the chimney temperature at about 450 degrees right now and rising, because I am now using the tiny house for the day and it's not comfortable at 54 degrees. And the floor then would actually, the floor is a frozen solid because I had milk under the kitchen countertop and it froze solid. A gallon of milk or half gallon of milk froze solid. So it was cold on the floor, definitely cold on the floor overnight. But upstairs was about 70 degrees, I'm guessing. So, alright, it's going to be alright. It's going to do what I wanted it to do. It's going to maintain warmth in the tiny house on wheels when I'm gone. So, success. The experiment was a success, and baby cat approved, right? Yep, baby cat approved. It's sunny here at the Off-Grid Homestead, and I just connected my solar panels, the Harbor Freight solar panels, to my forklift battery because I am working on the computer and the battery is cold and has reduced capacity, of course, when it's cold. And I turned the solar panels in to face the sun and catch some of the morning rays, and I connected them directly to the forklift battery with alligator clips for now, because these are, I have 45 watts and 15 watts, so that's only 60 watts of power, which is what, 4 or 5 amps, so it's really minimal for the 750 amp hour battery pack. That is just barely much of anything, but it does offset the use of my laptop and modem in the tiny house on wheels. So for early morning rays, catching the early morning sun, that's perfect. The solar panels out in the yard back there, the big boys, are still just getting indirect sunlight and putting out only about 52 watts. So, but it's increasing by the minute. Slowly improving the situation here at the Off-Grid Homestead. I'm only pulling 50 watts right now at 11 o'clock in the morning from the main solar panels. I keep moving to Harbor Freight solar panels to try to get optimum sunlight into them. Trying to push as much current into the new forklift batteries as I can. I am using my laptop, but I'm down to 12.2 volts. 12.1, it just dropped when I hit the light button. Isn't that funny? Anyway, they're not highly charged. The temperature is up to 32 degrees, which I find interesting because it's only 20 out. I don't see how the batteries would have warmed up that fast, so I'm starting to wonder if the temperature sensor on my charge controller is accurate, because there's no real heavy-duty current going into the batteries to warm them up. Then again, they might be just warming up from the current. I guess it's possible just under normal charging. It was only 10 amps max at the point where I saw the peak power coming in this morning so far was 10 amps. So I guess we'll see what happens once that sun swings around above the treetops for the afternoon. Should be another 30 minutes to an hour or so before I get peak power today. I just shut off all loads on the new forklift battery bank, and I'm pulling in 260 watts, almost 20 amps, from the main solar panel bank, and probably about 45 to 60 watts on the Little Harbor Freight solar panels. So I'm pumping in a decent amount of power into this new battery bank. Now you'll notice that I've never exceeded 200 watts yet this year. This winter, I should say. During this winter season, I've never exceeded 200 watts going into the battery bank, any battery bank. So I'm thinking that the charge controller was limiting the maximum power going into the batteries based on what the batteries could take at that time. Golf cart batteries being really bad, old forklift batteries being badly sulfated, new forklift batteries taking everything I can throw at it. Very good. This is a huge difference already. And also that the voltage is only 13.8 volts and slowly rising, whereas with my other batteries that I had put on there, it would be up to 14.2 and 15 volts, which is basically means that if the batteries go up that fast under charge, then they're not taking a charge. And it's now 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and these batteries are rising in voltage very slowly, so that means they aren't really taking a good charge. So that's very good news. Now I've got all power shut off in the tiny house, no charge, nothing draining the batteries. So I'm going to let them get maximum solar power into them during the day now. Now it's going to take quite a few days at this rate to charge that battery bank. So I will be running the generator evenings when I'm using a lot of power in the tiny house on wheels, so that I limit the amount of power being drained on those batteries until they're fully charged up. This is the new forklift battery bank. Actually, to me it's new. It's 3 years old and comes with a 1-year guarantee. These are refurbished forklift battery cells with a 1-year guarantee. And I'm using that in my tiny house home solar power system. So forklift batteries are also known as traction batteries. I'm not quite sure where that term comes from, but it's heavy duty commercial industrial batteries. There's the current going up a little higher. Very nice. The forklift battery is off-gassing. I can hear it bubbling. I can see it bubbling. Very good. That's a good sign. When I'm getting enough current coming in to gas them, then it's good. Well, these are super clean. Nice. Yeah, they're gassing up nice. That's good. That's good for the batteries. It means they're getting some nice current coming into them. That one's especially bubbling. Very good. Alright. Well, I have an experiment here. Hope you can see what I got in my hand. I have a clip-on cigarette lighter and a cigarette lighter adapter power inverter that I got, and I want to hook this up. If I can get that to clip on there nicely. I want to hook this up to the chicken watering dish. Give the birds some heated water during the daytime hours. Well, that's not good. Now I've got the Harbor Freight solar panels connected on here. That's why I'm having a hard time getting this to connect onto the lead. The fan on this starts running immediately. Green light is on. Now I'm going to run an extension cord to the watering dish, so I'll be back in a minute. This orange cord is plugged into the chicken watering dish, the electric chicken water heater. Okay, now that should happily run and provide liquid water supply for the chickens. You take you over and see the chickens. So this is all rigged up for now. I'm going to buy a distribution box, as I said earlier, and then mount it on the side of the tiny house on wheels. But for now, well, you can hear that running. That's stupid that the fan runs with regardless. It's freezing outside and the fan runs. That's just a waste of energy, really. So this extension cord runs over to the heated water dish, which, by the way, keeps freezing. I've put water in there 3 times already. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I've put water in there 3 times already today. So, hey, so that's very inconvenient, really. So what I'm going to do is let that heat up enough so I can get that water out of there, and then refill it with fresh, clean water again, and that'll stay thawed. And I also am going to insulate this. I'm going to put it out in a sunnier area and insulate it so that it can retain its heat better. And hopefully overnight as well, it won't freeze so bad. But that, again, 1 o'clock, and I've done this 3 times today. 3 times I've given them water today. So, no more troubles. Pretty soon here, as soon as that thaws out, no more troubles. Now I've got both sets of Harbor Freight solar panels facing the direct sunlight now. So I should be pulling in a good 60 watts at this time, 45 watts and 15 watts. I should be pulling in a good 60 watts right now and pushing them into my forklift batteries. Now I think what I'm going to do is get another Harbor Freight solar panel set, the 45 watt set, and set that up to power my chicken watering dish with a battery. So, because that's a intermittent thermostat controlled water dish. And with a decent sized battery on there, and a charge controller, and the power inverter, I shouldn't have any troubles. See, that is unfortunately a AC powered water dish, so I have to have an inverter, so there's going to be losses in the lines. But, considering that it's only 50 watts when it's running, that is incredibly convenient. Soon I'll be able to knock that ice out and put fresh water in for the birds again. And then they're going to be hooked up. So yeah, I think another one of these is going to be good. Very good for the off-grid homestead. Now, these Harbor Freight solar panels, I haven't come back to the Harbor Freight solar panels in a long time. I haven't talked to them, or talked about them in a year or 2. But my only complaints about these, they're still performing well. A lot of people say they have troubles with their Harbor Freight solar panels failing on them. But no, mine are doing well. The only problem is the framing on the solar panels themselves is weak. Well, there's some heat coming off of that. And at every corner, well, not every corner, but that one there is cracked. At some of the corners, they're cracked. That one's cracked on the bottom. That one's cracked on the bottom on both sides. This one's cracked. So this is cracked on 3 corners. The middle one's cracked only on 1 corner, funny enough. But it's really the only problem. You have to be very careful with the plastic pipes because it's not strong. And the screws rusted right after I put it all together, but they're still doing fine. They're doing their job, and I've got no complaints, really. And because these are amorphous solar panels, they do produce energy in all types of weather. And that is a major advantage for a off-grid solar homestead. Hi, this is Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and the Off-Grid Project, standing here with my friend Neil.
Hi, YouTube.
First time on video, I believe?
Yeah.
I want to thank you for bringing out some really awesome things for the Off-Grid Project here.
Yeah, I figured if you're going to go up in the air with the wind turbine, we'll find some real tower.
Yeah, this is ham radio?
Yeah, it's very commonly used with ham radio guys. You know, put them up in their backyard with some guy wires. You can usually go up about 100 feet with these if you do enough guy wires.
Right.
But you can do 30 feet without guy wires.
Now, can you climb on this?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, it's strong when it's up. I mean, as long as the base is big, and your base is huge.
Yeah, my base is huge.
This structure has got a huge footprint.
So these are awesome.
Right, they all slip together and there's 2 bolts in each connection. I took this one apart myself, so I know it'll go back together.
This is great. This is the real deal.
And it's funny, what you've built here is really similar to the way they build temporary towers. They have these 4 big legs going out, and
really?
then they pile concrete on them, and they can go up like 100 feet.
And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put cement blocks on the legs and tie them down. And yeah, that's...
I was so worried how you were going to do this because I'm thinking there's no way he's going to get a backhoe in here to dig a hole 6 feet cube, fill it with, you know, $1,000 worth of cement, and then go up with a tower.
Yeah.
But with this, we could assemble it and use that with a pulley on it to just pull it up, stand it up, and bolt it right to the side of it.
Yeah, I never would have thought of this, but when Neil showed up today, he said, basically, I assemble this tower on the ground and put a pulley up on top, and I can literally raise the tower straight up.
Right, and then bolt it up, and if something happens to the turbine, you can just lower it back down again.
And so that'll be the frame to the real tower, and I can put my extension pipe in the top of that. So this is 30 feet of pieces, right?
Right. What happens is the top, which gets narrower, is slightly shorter, so that's 10, 20, and then there's a short section, and this not so it's just over 30 feet, maybe
just about
32 feet.
Okay, so roughly 30 feet.
Yeah, so
and
roughly 30 feet.
I've got a 20-foot pole, which with guy wires should be fine.
You know, we had one, we put up a 24-foot piece of pipe on a mountaintop for a temporary antenna, and it was 2-inch, so the outside was 2 3/8, and when the wind blew, it was still whipping around.
See my pipe right there?
That looks like a 1-inch pipe.
That's 1 inch.
You'd probably need guy wires in the middle too.
So
I'd probably use half of that.
Okay,
or use one of your shorter lengths.
I could slip it down, because that's adjustable.
Sure.
I could slip it down through there, and then if I'm comfortable, I could always raise it up higher.
Yeah.
Now what I love what you said, which is quite awesome, is I can always lower this back down and work on it as needed and crank it right back up. And in here we have a beautiful little tool. For summer, you can hold it up if you want.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and tell us what that's about, because this.
We'll stand up a piece. I'll show you.
All right.
The little one. This is called a hazer. It's a.
Not like college.
No, not like college. And it's like a trolley. Oh, there's a safety latch.
There's a safety. Okay.
And it rides.
That is so cool.
It rides up and down the tower like an elevator. So you would use a little hand winch to crank it up.
And the wind turbine is mounted here.
You would mount a pipe from here, like on a flange, sticking up through some sort of bushing.
That is so awesome.
And then if it breaks or something goes wrong, you pull the safety, you turn the crank, and it comes down the tower. Like an elevator, you can work on it and send it back up.
Now, you know what? I've already got an idea, because I have 2 wind turbines.
One on the side.
One is going to be out to the peak, okay?
Yeah.
And my heavier one, which gives me a problem working with,
sure,
I can mount it offset so it has room to swing the tail without hitting this.
You know what I would personally do, being a ham?
Yeah.
I'd leave the top of that for an antenna. And build an outrigger, put the 2 wind turbines on this.
Right, there's an idea.
Because the antennas, they last for years up in the weather.
No, you're right. And
when you get your ham your ham license, we'll have to set you up with an antenna.
Oh yeah, then we're going to be having some fun. I thought about some live ham radio shows from the Off-Grid Project.
That would be cool.
That would be really cool.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah, it's there's nothing like communications in times of emergency, so you can see what your friends are up to when nothing else works.
That's right. And you can broadcast ham to YouTube if you want it.
There's people doing it all the time.
Uh-huh.
You know, I once had a conversation with a guy in Germany.
Yeah.
He emailed me a recording of what I sounded like,
Right.
so I could hear what he was
pretty
hearing,
cool.
and
That's cool.
yeah, sure.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
This
I'm
is-
here to help. See if I can help you do it better, do it right, and make the whole experience
This
a little
is
easier.
right.
It's great. I'm
This is
enjoying
right.
your experiment tremendously.
This piece alone is like gold out here. I never would have thought of this.
We need a little outdoor pulley. That's the trick with doing stuff outdoors.
Yeah.
This is actually aircraft cable that was the cheap kind that was used outdoors for too long.
Wow.
And so
That didn't do well.
no. And there's nylon rope now that's designed to replace aircraft cable.
Is it good?
It is brilliant. It's very expensive. It's used on winches,
Okay.
ATV winches, truck winches.
Well, I thought about a Harbor Freight cable up on top. Up
Yeah,
on
you
top
just
of the,
keep an eye on it. When it goes bad, you got to
You know, the
change
Harbor
it.
Freight crank.
The little
or
hand
something.
crank.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you have this. You'd have one down here to operate your
So
safety
to release
catch.
the lock.
But if you leave aircraft cable outdoors unattended for too long, it
It
turns
goes.
into a rod that's brittle, and it
Oh,
just.
that's
We
not
had to
cool.
knock this tower over
Uh-huh.
because the cables were rotten. We couldn't release it.
Uh-huh.
So we had to put a line up in a tree attached to the tower,
On
cut
the
the bottom,
tree.
and then lower the whole thing over
That's a job.
just to get the antenna off.
That's a job.
Yeah.
Well, this is really awesome.
It'll be
I'm
cool.
excited now.
We'll see what we can do with the wind.
Now with the weather, well, see, I've had a lot of visitors this week, so I've been busy.
Yeah.
Got a lot done, but next week the wind turbines are going up.
Great.
This is the final piece of the puzzle. So thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.